2, 1.
Hello, Mustangs. This is Scott Kilgore, your superintendent, and welcome back to our Mustangs on the Mic podcast. This is season 2, episode 19, and today we have some special guests with us. We have 2 members from our Ingleside ISD Education Foundation, and they are going to speak to us today about our upcoming casino night that raises funds for the Education Foundation, which is then put back into our schools, into our educators and students. So thank you for joining us today. We have some of, actually one of you, I believe, is a previous podcast returnee. And so what I'd like to do is we'll go around the table, and if you can introduce yourself, tell us what your role in the foundation is and maybe why you got involved in the foundation, and explain that to our listeners. So Mrs. Matern, I'll start with you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Mr. Kilgore, for having us today and for being a part of the foundation yourself. I know that's a sitting seat for the superintendent on the foundation, and it's great to have your input and leadership on the foundation board. So I actually have been involved in public schools in some capacity or another for a couple of decades now. I used to work in public education. I have 6 children who attend all 4 campuses. So I have a couple at some and one at another across Ingleside ISD. So I have a vested interest, my husband and I, in this community and in our education foundation, and certainly for the great benefit of all of our students, teachers, and staff, which is exactly why the Education Foundation exists. That's our mission, to raise funds to be able to provide grants. And eventually, hopefully, we'll be able to establish some scholarships for students as we grow and continue just to provide opportunities to enhance education in ways not already covered by the district budget, which I'm sure, as you know, Mr. Kilgore, is very limited as far as the state is concerned. And so because of those things, education foundations exist for all students and all teachers and staff in any school community. And I'm delighted to serve and be here with Mara. So I'll hand it over to Mara so she can introduce herself.
All right. Yeah. Hi, guys. I'm Mara Rodriguez. I am actually, this is my first, kind of maybe going into second year-ish.
Year 2?
Yeah, year 2 on the foundation. I am currently serving as the treasurer. I have accounting background, so that's kind of what drew me to the treasurer position. But I myself was born and raised in Ingleside, class of 06. Go Mustangs. I do currently now have 3 children, 2 currently in the system, 1 little one coming up soon. So hopefully she'll be joining our wonderful Mustang Pride team here in the next 2 years or so. But yeah, I joined the foundation because there's just so much that us citizens of the community can give back. And the more people that can do that, it just benefits our kids, which at the end of the day is our first and foremost pride and joy of everything. Is our kids are our future. Our kids are what's going to push this community to the next level every step of the way. So the more people that we get to be involved in things like the Ingleside Education Foundation, the better we can make this city of Ingleside. So I personally joined because there is so much in the school budgets that don't get passed because we are very limited in money and funds. And I myself was one of those people who was very inexperienced and lacked the knowledge of how the school system and money worked and the finances of the school. Now that I am a part of the foundation, I've learned so much about the ins and outs of what a district can keep in the money that they get from the state and what they cannot. The Robin Hood effect, which just blows my mind.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'm here to kind of bring back and raise money with this foundation and see what we can give our students, what we can give our teachers from what the budget can't. And so that's what we're here to do. And I'm really excited. And we have some big stuff coming up we're going to talk about.
Absolutely. And thank you both for everything that you do for the foundation. I know just in the past year, our foundation has really started to grow. And we're definitely tracking in the right direction in terms of, adding more to what the school can offer to our teachers with grants. And then, I know the goal is to possibly offer scholarships one day to our students with the foundation money. Kind of cool thing about our foundation, is we have graduates of Ingleside ISD. Both of our guests here are Ingleside Mustangs through and through.
We won't say who's older.
Yes.
I didn't get that year.
Mara said class of 06, and I was teaching here in 06. So,
Yes.
And that wasn't even my first year of teaching. I had already been in teaching for a while. So, but it really is great because I think just about almost every one of our directors is an Ingleside graduate, I believe. I think there's maybe one that's not.
Maybe one, but it's amazing. Yeah,
it is
it's
really
awesome.
a cool thing that people that have graduated here or raising their families here are still involved in our district. And Mrs. Matern brings 6 kids to the district, which is great for us as a district. And then Mara has several in the district as well. So we're really blessed to have y'all and the work that you do for our foundation. So thank you on behalf of the district. So let's kind of dive into the Education Foundation. We kind of hit on what it does. We kind of talked a little bit about school finance and how it's a complicated thing. Here in Ingleside, we actually send money back to the state because we're what people used to call a Robin Hood district.
Right. We're property rich district.
Yeah, property rich, lots of industry, which is a blessing, but it can also be a curse, and that we send so much money back that could benefit our kids and our teachers. So the Education Foundation, we talked about, it raises grants. Can maybe you explain a little bit about how that works and what we did as an Education Foundation just earlier this year in terms of grants and how that provided for our teachers?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I'll say, it was a blessing to be a part of the grant award process. I got to come for the first time ever this last year, and several of us were there. I know you were there.
It really
Mara.
was amazing. I love seeing all those teachers. Some of them cried, some of them laughed. It was awesome.
We had Mrs. Claus.
Yes, it was amazing. It's a great feeling to see the responses of these teachers.
Absolutely, and that's the opportunity that we're able to take the dollars that come to us from donors, individual donors in the community. Many of you, and thank you all for those who have supported the foundation through the years and helped it grow. And also from businesses from across Ingleside and the surrounding areas who have supported the foundation, whether it's by events or just providing income for restricted purposes or special gifts like the grant programs. And this last grant cycle was the largest the foundation has ever provided to Ingleside ISD teachers. There were grants awarded at every single campus.
Yes.
And in many cases, multiple teachers at campuses. It touched special education, academics, just in general, core curriculum. It also, there was some CTE, which is career and technical education programs. Yes, yearbook. I think there was if I'm not mistaken, a woodworking grant.
In fact, that one just came today to get the money to go purchase the equipment for their students. That was a really
amazing.
Cool deal.
Fantastic. Yeah, and I'm glad. Great segue, Mr. Kilgore, because when they come and they're able to get those funds, these are things the teachers, they would love to do outstanding and amazing and innovative things in their classrooms. The difficulty is that when you look at truly enhancing education and giving above and beyond experiences, the last thing that any of us would ever want is for teachers to have to pay for that out of their own pocket. Many teachers attempt to do that. And it's difficult because, again, state budget limits school districts. We wish we could pay teachers what they're worth, every single one of us.
It's so limited.
But it is so limited, and that's a state issue, not a local issue.
Well, even like from a tax standpoint, teachers even get, excuse my language if it's not allowed, but screwed in this sense that we all know how much money comes out of our teachers' pockets just for little things, even down to little things like, the primary school, they go through crayons and markers like crazy. They break them, they lose them, they go out of, so they're constantly buying 40 packages, at one setting out of and then on their tax returns, they get a $300 deduction and they can't go over that.
Yes.
So they can't even get benefits from the money being spent for the kids. So I just wanted to mention that.
I mean, there's a fundamental reason that there are PTOs and PTAs that support individual campuses. There's a reason that there's a booster club that supports athletics or band in some cases. There are reasons for these different kind of groups. The Education Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization where donors can go and give large gifts. They can give moderate gifts as well, but large gifts is intended this way. And it benefits all students and teachers in the district. And that is unlike any of the other organizations.
And all of our money goes back.
To a program.
Every penny of it goes back into the teachers, into the students. Not one of it. All of us are volunteers. Every penny goes back into the district.
Yep. I think that's a very important fact that you brought up, is that the whole role of the Education Foundation is to provide for our teachers and our students, and everything that we raise goes towards them.
Every penny.
There's no other fees or anything like that. It all goes back to our teachers and our students, and that's kind of what makes an Education Foundation special. And we're really excited about how our education foundation here in Ingleside is growing and is going to be able to do even more and more as each year goes on. Mm-hmm. So that's a great point. So we talked a little bit about the grants. We did that in the fall, right before Christmas. It was like Mara said, there were tears, there were joy, there was hugs, there were high fives. It was a really cool event. And I know the Education Foundation is really looking forward to doing that again. But there's been some other events, in order to provide those grants, we have to raise funds, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And so we did one earlier this year. We did a bowling night. If y'all like to talk a little bit about what that was and how that worked, and then, we'll have another event coming up here in the next few weeks that we can kind of lead into as well.
Yeah, so we've already had our bowling event this year that turned out to be so amazing. It was so much fun. We had so many amazing businesses. I mean, we had businesses donating to the Ingleside district, not only from Ingleside, but Aransas, Port Aransas, Portland. So all of our surrounding towns actually came through for this event, and we were almost able to fill every lane over there at CM Lanes. It was great fun. Everyone was having drinks. Everyone was laughing. It was just a really great time. Is there anything you'd like to add on that, or
maybe the caveat that it's an Education Foundation event and not a district event, so those sorts of things are possible?
Yes, exactly.
It was a great time.
Yes, and we did have some of the winners. So the winners actually donated the money that they won from the bowling tournament back to the Education Foundation. So we had some really great people come out.
I think it was really cool too, because at that bowling tournament you had the different teams, and they had some of them had their own costumes and outfits that they were bowling in. And it was really a great time that everybody had, and very successful. I mean, I did not hear one complaint or one, hey, we could do that better. It was,
they all want to come back next year.
Yes,
they said.
Yeah. And I think it would be something that we could even, we're limited on the size of the bowling alley, but there's definitely,
the competition was there, though. Some people want to come back for some revenge.
Yes, very competitive bowling too. They didn't allow me to use the bumpers though, and that kind of threw my game off.
Yeah, that threw me off a little bit. It wasn't fair. I called unfair.
No, it was a great event, and I know that it was very successful. And I know that the foundation is looking forward to doing that again next year. But that kind of leads us into this upcoming event, which is the second annual casino night. And so we are excited about that. Last year, we put it together, first time we ever did it. If you want to kind of elaborate about what the casino night is, what, when, and where, basically, are the three questions that everybody wants to know, because they're going to see a lot of information about it here in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah. So casino night, we would like to consider this probably our biggest event that we plan on having annually, especially since last year was such a huge success. We expect this year to be even bigger. So it is currently going to be on April 24th at 6:00 p.m. at North Shore Country Club. We do have a ton of different ways that people can get more information on this. We do have a Facebook page, the Ingleside Education Foundation, that we're blasting out the casino night with all of these different ways to sponsor or to be in attendance or to contribute in any way. So we do have some packages that we've put together for sponsorships, tables, things like that. So if somebody doesn't really want to sponsor a table, that's completely fine. We do sell, singular tickets for $125, which once again, all of these funds go directly to the foundation to go directly back to the students and teachers. Next, we have a full house, which is $500, and that is a party of two. So it comes with 2 tickets with that one. So that would be a $500 donations for a table of 2. Next, we have a Royal Flush, which is a table of 4 participants that are able to come with that ticket, and it is $1,000. And then last, we have High Roller of $2,500, and there is an option to up the ante. So if anybody wants to do the High Roller $2,500 and then add any additional to that just to put a little icing on the cake there, that is definitely acceptable. So those are our packages. we do have flyers running around all over the place that you guys can obtain this information. And I do think Crystal might have a little, do you have any more information on that where they can go other than the Facebook page, or do we have any other?
Yes, absolutely. Well,
Okay.
you can go to, I believe it's iisdef.com, which is our website. That you can also find on Facebook, certainly, but we encourage you to follow us on the Facebook page, because not only will you find what's going on about upcoming events, but that's where we share a lot about when the grant applications are available for teachers, so that you can share it with an educator that you know has some great ideas, and you can encourage them to apply. That cycle is the beginning of every fall, and usually it is due kind of at the beginning of the fall. If I'm not mistaken, it's the last Friday in September or October. I have to go back and look to check. But we'll be putting it all over the Facebook page, so you'll definitely want to follow for those reasons. And also then just to kind of see where that money is going. Because if you're coming to these amazing events, if you're having a great time, that's only half the joy. The other side of that coin is to get to come, or maybe I should say the other side of your token at casino night, is to come and see what is happening with the dollars that you've so generously provided to the foundation. Not to mention that it's also a tax deduction, because it's a 501c3 nonprofit, right? Which Mara's thinking about right now. In her
My tax
it's close to
background.
tax season.
Yes, I'm in the heat of it.
Yes, I'm just excited you're here right now in April, Mara.
Hey, that's what that is my effort. I will take time away from my job to be here in tax season. That's
Mara
huge.
gets Mara gets an A for effort, because it is tax season and she is here with us. So just shows you the dedication that our foundation members have to our district and to our kids. Absolutely.
And guys, we do have a lot more than just gambling at this casino night. We want you guys to show up early. First come people get amazing door prizes. I'm not going to let y'all know what that is, but you have to show up to figure it out, and it's going to be amazing. So you need to come. There's going to be amazing food. There's going to be catering going on there. So we're going to have great food for you guys, entertainment. There's going to be music. There's going to be fun gambling. Of course, y'all know that. Everybody that went last year said that they just want to go again. It was just so much fun.
It's
Everybody had such a great
signature
time.
event. Absolutely. Yes. And I would even encourage, to your point, Mara, because more people know about it now that we've done it 1 year, it's really important that you go ahead and secure those sponsorships as early as possible. Secure those tickets as early as possible, because once we hit capacity, we're done.
That's it.
And we were close to it last year in that space. And so we encourage everybody to go now. Kudos to you listening to this podcast. This is your sign to go into look up casino night and come and have fun with us and do it for a great cause.
Absolutely. And people are thinking, well, what is a casino night? Because we don't have casinos down here. You have to go to Louisiana or Oklahoma or Eagle Pass or get on a boat. We actually bring the casino to Ingleside, or Portland North Shore Country Club. But it's a lot of fun. We have blackjack, we have roulette, they have slot machines, they have poker. I mean, you name it, the game was there. And you win. You're not winning money. I mean, we are a school. We can't do. We got to stay within the law. But you do collect tickets, and then you get to put those tickets kind of in a raffle for different prizes. So it's a really great event. And don't worry if you don't know how to play blackjack. If you get John, who was my dealer at the table I was at last year, he's going to make sure you don't bust. Because he would make sure the dealer always busted. He'd say, "Oh, you got 9? You're good." And then he'd just keep flipping those cards, and the dealer would bust. I mean, it was a greit time. So everybody was a winner. I mean, it was a lot of fun. So.
And keep in mind, you don't have to. If some people say, "Well, you know what, I can't attend," or "I've got something going on." Well, you know what, donations are amazing. You can donate and sponsor a table, and we can allow, district members to attend this by providing them the seats that you purchased with your donation, to sponsor that table. So we will ask teachers, people who are part of this amazing district, to come and attend this, and they'll get to go on behalf of your donation, which is huge. So.
And I don't know if we said this earlier or not. Certainly it does include dinner. So you get dinner when you come to casino night. And in terms of attire, and this was always an interesting question. Sometimes
that's a good question.
Don't think about this, but
I
last
didn't think
minute.
about that.
And I'll tell you, it's not a gala. It's not a formal affair, but you're welcome to wear a button-down shirt if you want, or as my dad would call it, a cowboy tuxedo.
And see, I'm the kind of person, I'm going to come out all busting out here. I'm going to wear all kinds of
if you want,
I'm going to have fun.
There's a wide spectrum of possibility. Okay, you can wear your sequins if you want, and you'll be totally right for the occasion. And by the same token, you can wear jeans and a nice shirt or a polo or even a t-shirt, as long as it's Mustang blue.
Absolutely. I think last year we saw everything from Crocs to tuxedos.
Yeah.
I mean, if we kind of think about it,
It's a come as you are and situation, and just have
That's
a
a great
time.
point. I'm glad you brought up dress attire because I haven't even thought about that. Now I'm going to make sure it's good.
No need to stress about the attire, right?
Yep.
Come as you are.
Yep.
I mean, we could go right now with what we're
Yeah.
wearing.
Mhm.
I mean, polo shirt, just I don't even
this
know
is
how
about
I
as
teach
dressed as I get. So I mean, that's no. It is really a neat event, and it's for everybody. It's not just for one demographic of people. I mean, we
want everybody.
Yes, we
Yes.
had young, we had old. Well, I won't say old because I was in that crowd, but we had just a wide variety of members from our community and our district, along with sponsors who weren't necessarily from our area but did donate to the foundation in the forms of sponsorship. So really, really encourage everybody to join and do that little bit extra for our district and for our kids and our teachers. So we kind of covered a little bit about this, prizes, food, entertainment. Like Mara said, we're going to have a DJ, there's food, there's a catered meal. There's all kinds of prizes that are available at the event. And if you are interested, like we said, feel free to donate. We're always looking for just door prizes, even if you can't buy a ticket or can't sponsor a table. Anything helps because it just goes back to our teachers and our students.
Absolutely. And, we'll be glad. We're going to, we've got a cycle. We've already got several sponsors signed up. So starting next week, we're going to be dropping that information on our Facebook page, on our website, and really celebrating those people who are supporting. So even if you're able to give a door prize but not attend or something like that, absolutely let us know. Take a picture of it, send it to us. We'll be glad to recognize you for that gift. And then, of course, if you want to be anonymous, that's okay too. But we want to celebrate the people who are connecting with us and doing it for the sake of our students, teachers, and staff, because it really does make all the difference.
We're definitely going to promote all the companies that sponsor us. We're going to get their logos. We're going to blast that to give them all the recognition that they deserve for doing this. And as well as individuals should be definitely recognized as well. So that's a good point.
Very good. So we talked a little bit about the funds. Everything goes back to our teachers and our students. So we know that benefits, but maybe give some examples about how the money last year was raised, what it was used for, and then maybe what did the foundation make last year on the casino night, and what is the expectation this year moving forward?
Sure. We roughly $7,000 was the net revenue from last year. After all of the gross income was received, expenses, we were able to put that in the bank. And then those dollars turn right back around to fund the fulfillment of our mission, which is in particular those grant awards for teachers right now here in Ingleside ISD. And so we were able to almost double the amount of money we had given in the past for grants this last year. Our hope is that it continues to grow, not only this signature event with the casino night in the spring, but also the bowling tournament in the fall that we have, and any other events that we're able to add on the docket to celebrate not only our teachers, staff, and students, but also everyone in our community who comes together for Ingleside ISD. And so as we're continuing to grow, we want to see those grant awards grow because it means a difference for kids in the classroom. And it also means the chance for teachers to shine and to use their creative ideas to really go above and beyond.
Right.
Yes, no, that's very well said. And, everything we do, it goes back to the kids, it goes back to the teachers. Now, some people are going to say, well, I don't have the time this for casino night in April. I've got something already planned, or maybe as a business, that hasn't been allocated in their funds for this cycle. But what are some other ways that the community could support the foundation if maybe they can't attend the casino night? Because we're always looking for ways to help benefit our kids and our teachers. And I know there's people out there, and maybe this date doesn't work for them, or this event doesn't work for them. Are there other opportunities that they have?
Absolutely. Well, I would say, not all giving and not all support is monetary.
Correct.
The first thing and the reason that we exist is to celebrate the people working in this school district and learning in this school district. And so I would tell you, if you see the story about the grant programs, and I know that you all do such an amazing job, the school district on social media, putting a lot out there. So you may even see something that was funded by an Education Foundation grant that's now happening in the spring or in the fall. It would be exceptional, and I'll tell you, it would mean the world to them if you would just send a quick email to a teacher and tell them how creative that was and how much you appreciate what they're doing. Because I'll tell you, educators work exceedingly hard at what they do, and we need to elevate their profession because teaching is a profession. and it's a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've never done it, if you've never been part of it, if you've never been around it, you just don't understand. I'll tell you, I used to work, I was a journalist for a few years, and then I went into corporate public relations. From there, it kind of fell into school PR for a little while. And so in that transition, I was shocked to see the difference in how, for example, as we talked about, finances work in a school district compared to corporate and business. It's completely different.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much red tape. It is absolutely insane. Not only that, but the perception outside school districts for what teachers and staff inside a district actually do, a lot of times is so much lower. The bar is so much lower than in reality.
Right.
Because in reality, we should do everything. We should be jumping through hoops for our teachers, for what they do for our kids.
Yes.
Because when you find people who love your children, other people's children, as much as their own,
Rare.
that's a special person.
Mm-hmm.
So they deserve an email. They deserve a note in the mail, just an opportunity. Even if you just tag them on social media and say, hey, my kid told me about this awesome program that was funded by the foundation, or quite honestly, even if it wasn't funded by the foundation, it was great. Reach out to them and let them know, because that's the heart of what we do.
Mm-hmm. And that's their ideas. That's their minds working. That's their minds trying to make the creations and everything that happens inside the classrooms better for the kids. So they're definitely special.
Yes, and that's one thing that we like to pride ourselves on here in Ingleside is we always try and give our teachers credit and really highlight the special things that they do. I know that every district does that, but we like to think we just do it better here in Ingleside, because we have phenomenal teachers and we have phenomenal kids. We have a phenomenal community, and we definitely want those people that are working with our kids, because all three of us have kids in this district. We want them to have everything that they need and that support, and know that we're behind them as they help mold our kids into the best that they can be. So, like Crystal said, just an email, a shout out, those things as a teacher myself, we take that to heart, and it really means something.
Appreciation goes a long way.
It's that value, and we want our people to feel valued, because they're extremely valued for what they do for all of our kids. So great point on that. So kind of shifting gears a little bit, we did talk about where people can find out more about what the Education Foundation is. Crystal, if you want to say that website again, because I don't have it memorized off the top of my, I have it on my favorites tab, but I don't have it memorized.
It's IISDEF for Education Foundation.com.
And then you can also check out their Facebook page, the Education Foundation Facebook page. There's lots of flyers going around for this casino night. If you still can't remember that, reach out to the district offices here, and we will put you in touch with the Education Foundation, because I think, like we said earlier, we're looking to grow and continue to expand.
We want members.
So
we want members.
The more the merrier. The more help we have with this foundation, and the more members we have, the more we can do for our teachers and our kids. And really, that's what it's all about. So thank you for that information. So we have the upcoming event, Casino Night. We know Bowling Night is going to happen again next year. I know the foundation has talked about expanding and doing even more things as the future goes. So really check out those the Facebook page and the website, because the updates are posted very frequently.
We're looking into pickleball.
Pickleball has come up. So any of those pickleball players, get your tennis shoes on and
bring on the competition. Yep.
I'll have an AED out there and we'll be okay. Some of us aren't as good as we used to be. The age gets to us, but
I might get out there and I'll try and shift one way and pull a hammy or something.
we may have to. If there's any doctors out there, we may contract you to.
It'll be definitely entertaining.
It might be a comedy show instead of a pickleball tournament. But there's definitely a lot of great ideas that are that the foundation is looking into, and different events that we can put on to do things for our kids and for our staff. So as we kind of wrap up today, this is kind of the $1 million question. You volunteer. All of our foundation members are volunteer. There's no, it's not paid. It's like a school board member. You don't get elected. You just sign up or you get voluntold. What's your favorite or most rewarding part about being on the foundation?
Mine, honestly, and I just figured this out, I've always done it for my kids, obviously, but the grants. We actually got to get on a school bus. Mind you, I haven't been on a school bus since high school. It's been about 15 going on 20 years, and great Scott here got to drive the bus for us, and man,
we didn't put a dent in it. We got where we needed to be.
yes, and man, the upgrades on those buses, guys, I can't believe it, the difference what it has now from back then. But going into each campus, because we were blessed enough to have grants for every single campus this year. And we had the band traveling with us in these buses from campus to campus all in the same day. We all got to unload with the band playing all kinds of cool stuff, marching through the hallways again like it was a pep rally, and delivering these grants to these teachers. And honestly, I did not know I would have such an emotional reaction. But the feelings and the emotions coming out of these teachers was amazing. And it made me tear up, and I'm not an emotional person at all. So my most rewarding thing is seeing the repercussions of what this money is doing, seeing the teachers receive this money and physically go into tears because they did not think that they could buy all these additional cameras, for example, for yearbooks, because they needed all video recorders, cameras, things like that, so kids who are into all this media stuff can do it. So yeah, that was the most rewarding thing, is seeing the outcome of everything when we finally get to deliver what we've worked for all year, to deliver the money, the rewards of what we do, and just the emotions. It was amazing. So
it's a great point. Just, you know, and I don't want to call it a small gesture, because, you know, this was significant money in these grants that these teachers were getting, but something that had just such a huge impact on those teachers and even the kids, because a lot of times the kids were right there as we're awarding the grants. And, you know, I keep thinking back to when we were at the primary school and we had the kids in the gym and they're just, you know, jumping and hooping and hollering because their teachers, and they didn't know what for, but they knew something was cool.
They were excited though.
They were excited. They saw the big check and they thought, you know, something exciting was happening. It was exciting, but just that impact was really,
well, you know,
really
we even have news cameras, you know, all the local news stations were around, you know, promoting our school, promoting our district. So even little events like this brings out more promotion for our amazing district, because we really do have it good, guys. I don't know how much y'all know, but Ingleside's a really great district to work for, live in, be a part of. So
well, and I'll tell you, I'll give a shout out to Kelsey for that, because she's always got the media where it needs to be for Ingleside.
Yes,
and that's an important job. So.
She likes being behind the scenes, but I'm like, you need to kind of be more in the scenes.
That's okay. I understand where she's coming from. I do. You know, but while she's blushing over there in the corner, she's here with us. That is absolutely true. And it really makes all the difference, because that helps tell our story. And if we're not telling our story, someone else will. And to that point, and to answer your question, Mr. Kilgore, exactly what Maura said is my reason. And coming from Maura, actually, not what you said, but watching you say it. And what I mean by that is, for the last couple of decades almost, as I mentioned, I've been involved in public schools. And in all that time, I've been closely affiliated with education foundations or part of them. It is a blessing to come back and be part of the Education Foundation in the district where I went to school, that served me, that gave so much to me, so I can give back to this place and these people. So this is a near and dear to my heart situation, but even more than that, I'm all about the story. And I'll tell you, listening to you talk about how you felt watching what was transpiring inside a classroom when they were receiving those grants is my why.
Yes.
Because
like
I look at that,
goosebumps.
like you're doing it now. Again, just thinking about it. And it's beautiful, because that's why an education foundation exists.
Yep.
That's why a school district exists. And that's why when you have strong leadership in places like that, you can make those connections. You walked into the Education Foundation and you just told your story. You walked in, you know, from a corporate situation here in town. You have your local business owner. You're also a parent, but it wasn't until you came and sat on the Education Foundation board that you began to make the connection.
Yep.
That you saw the heart of our teachers that day.
You're
when
100% right.
And hand them the check, because their reaction had nothing to do with money. It had to do with the fact that they looked at that grant, they knew what it was going to do for their kids, and they saw their kids' faces in their eyes, and that's what you were seeing. And when you saw that, it made all the difference for you. And so when we talk about giving back to the foundation, that's why I say not all giving is monetary.
Exactly.
Come be a part of it so that you can enjoy that same experience, because there's so much to be said for that.
Oh, and I've
that's
met so many
about.
Amazing people through this too. So I've opened myself up to people in this district that I probably would have never come into contact with. You, Crystal, for example, we found out yesterday we have a lot in common.
Yes.
So we get a lot of blessings out of this, and it's amazing to see the reactions of the students and the teachers, and it just makes you feel really good inside, because we do live in a world that's a little bit scary, and so seeing things like this lets you know that there is still good in the world.
Absolutely. And, thank y'all for everything that you do for our kids in our district. You're so involved, not only in your own kids' lives, but we're impacting every other kid in the district as well through the Education Foundation. So as we wrap up today, is there anything else that each of you would like to share about or add to today's conversation?
Just get out there, go check out our Facebook page, Ingleside Education Foundation. Check out our website, iisdf.com. Find a way to get involved. I promise you won't regret it, because like me, I was never I've always been involved in my kids, but I've never really put the effort to get into the district, and now that they're in there, I do not regret it. It's brought me so many fulfilling things that I never thought I would have. And including all these amazing people that I have come in contact with. So just get involved. It'll do wonders for you, your children, our district, our teachers. So.
Awesome. Well, I would say, Mr. Kilgore and I are here across you. If you're not watching this podcast, if you're instead listening to it, we're sitting across from Maura. And so we've got a front row seat to the look on her face as she talks. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to walk out of here today with that look that you had in my heart and on my mind, because ultimately, if anything, I would say in closing, the reason we exist, and certainly the reason that it brings me joy to even have this conversation at all and to be somewhat a part of it, is the fact that we have our teachers to thank for all the difference that's happening in our schools for our kids. We as parents, we as families and community, we hand over our kids and we trust our school district and our teachers with them all day long, so much of the year, so often, and we forget that the impression that's being made on our kids and the opportunities they have are forming them. And they're forming them in the best ways here in Ingleside ISD. So I just want to thank our teachers, our coaches, our staff, everybody working in our schools that just really make an impact for our kids.
Yep.
And thank you for the chance, Mr. Kilgore and Kelsey too, for letting us come here and talk about it today.
And being so involved too.
Well, thank you both for not only what you do with our Education Foundation, but just how you're involved in the district and how you're impacting every student in this district along with our staff. It does take a special person to volunteer their time because we all have busy lives and careers and kids and families. But just doing that little bit extra can make a huge impact on everybody. And I appreciate each one of you and all the other members of our Education Foundation because it's that old saying, it takes a village. And, this is our village and these are our kids. So thank you for that. And with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this season 2, episode 19, Education Foundation.
Yay.